It's December the 31st, 1944, and in the cockpit of his B-17, the little skipper, is Lieutenant Glenn Rojon, alongside his co-pilot, Second Lieutenant William Leake. They're approaching Germany on a mission to flatten oil refineries in Hamburg. Flak erupts directly beneath them and all hell breaks loose. The men watch as they see B-17 after B-17 being shot out of the sky in the target area ahead of them. When the flak is at its thickest, Rojon sees a smoke target over the docks. It's the cue to drop the bombs. They know it's coming. All the B-17s in Rojon's group that are still flying open their bomb bay doors. The flak intensifies with a ferocity that the pilots have never seen before. In the Leak squadron,
The B-17
falls rush in, is hit dead center with flak. It veers off to the right and crashes directly into another B-17 called Cramp's Tramps. The two planes crunch together, and Cramp's Tramps is sliced in two. Both planes fall from the air. Rojon and Leake can't believe their eyes. They think everyone is lost, but incredibly, 3 crew members from each plane get pushed into the void and manage to release their parachutes.
I see 6 chutes.
Rojon pushes a shot to the battery's mind and radios to the bombardier, Sergeant James Shirley.
Confirm with bombs away. Bombs away.
Through the B-17's huge bomb bay doors drops a stream of 500-pounders which plummet towards the earth. Bond, the little skipper, the ball turret gunner, watches the bombs hit the target.
Brussels, out the view. Right on target.
After dropping the bombs, the formation follows the original plan and does a 180 straight back out to sea. They tighten formation as much as they can for the trip home. But just as they get in their box formation,
Bandits, bombing quite high.
around 50 German defenders race at full speed to intercept the Americans. The first on the scene are the jet-propelled Me-262s. One screams past the Americans from above, firing its Mk-108 cannons through the line. The Messerschmitt carries on below and pulls out in a wide arc, its contrails glistening in the sun. It's too fast to hit and is already gone before the gunners can target it. Then Bf-109s streak past the formation, attacking from the front, and FW-190s buzz like hornets. Faithful forever on Rojon's right position is lagging slightly back and already damaged from flak, and it's hit once again. Its pilot, Second Lieutenant Leo Ross, gets on the radio.
Faithful forever go down.
Ross manages to get his plane down to 5,000 feet straight and level, despite its damage, and all its crew bail and survive.
Bitch, 6 o'clock.
Back with the main formation, all hope is lost, and the Germans are wreaking havoc on the now ragtag formation.
Hey, group at 8 o'clock high.
Then, the beautiful sight of American P-51s comes into view. It's fighter support. The German interceptors have softer targets and immediately turn and run. The American P-51s, safe in the knowledge that the Germans have gone, depart to defend other B-17s further along the line.
B-51s leave to defend the ports in the upper front. Keep your eyes peeled, boys.
Rojon, and what's left of his formation, fly on, alone.
We're almost over the sea. Hold on, everyone.
They approach the coast of Germany to the northwest of Hamburg, and they can already see the flak starting up again. They battle through the flak once more, but quickly they're out over the sea, moving slowly, but they might just make it home. The turbulence is now so bad that the B-17s can't hold the formation. Then, across the intercom, there is a call. Everyone is driven.
Bandit, I got my call.
Another bandit. Another wave of German fighters flying from bases in Bremen and Oldenburg force their way in to intercept the now loose formation over the sea. In a desperate fight with the turbulence, the B-17s are trying to keep in close together. Plane after plane is hit. More holes in the formation start to appear as B-17s drift away, their engines streaming oil and fire. These are dangerous gaps for the German fighters to exploit.
There are too many of them.
A Bf-109 flying in from the front strafes the 9 lives, the lead plane in Rojon's formation. Bullets riddle the cockpit, and both pilots are instantly killed. All engines continue working, and the remaining crew carry on the flight, unaware that no one's alive up front. Back on the little skipper, Rojon reacts quickly to fill the void, desperately trying to keep the formation together. Rojon nudges the little skipper into place, one hand on the column, the other ready to throttle back. He's looking for the 9 lives, but the lead plane is nowhere to be seen.
Out to crew. Anyone sees McNabb. 9 lives. Where did it go?
Little does he know that the pilots, McNabb and Vaughn, are slumped in their cockpit seats. The 9 lives is flying straight, but not level. Her 2 lifeless pilots have pulled back on the column, and the B-17 moves on a slightly upwards trajectory. Ethan Porter, a captain in a nearby B-17, watches as the 2 planes get closer and closer. They're about to collide. Quickly he gets on the radio and tries to warn the pilots.
Look out, they're gonna collide.
But it's too late. At 12:44, Rojon and Leaf are catapulted upward in an almighty shudder that throws Rojon's hand from the throttle levers. Leek's knees slam into the column.
What in God's name was that? Bow to crew. What's happening? Top turn.
Leek and Rojon quickly test the hydraulics and the electrics. The systems are working, but they're losing control of their fort.
You're not gonna believe this.
Rojon looks out to the left and behind. He can't believe his eyes.
We're riding another port.
The 9 lives has crashed mid-air into the little skipper and has pierced the aluminium belly of Rojon's fortress.
Jeez, Glenn. We're stuck together like mating dragonflies.
In the bull turret of the 9 lives, Staff Sergeant Edward Woodall Jr. is covered in metal shards, the result of impact between the 2 planes. He's neither electrical nor hydraulic power, so he grabs his hand crank and prays that the lever does not snap. Agonizingly slowly, the guns drop to straight down, and he's able to pull backwards out of the turret and into the fuselage. Woodall looks down the fuselage. It's a mess of tangled metal. He knows that Corporal Joe Russo, bull turret gunner of the little skipper, hasn't a hope in hell. Russo's turret has been pushed down through the roof of the 9 lives and is clamped in place by twisted metal. The gunner is trapped. Woodall sees Russo crossing himself through the plexiglass. The crew of the little skipper, still in contact with their gunner via the plane's intercom, can hear Russo reciting his fading Hail Marys. Bill Leak is deeply moved, hearing the anguish in his bull turret gunner's voice. He later said, "I could not help him, and I felt that I was somehow invading his right to be alone." Bill, to allow Russo his final prayers in private, Leak removes his helmet and his intercom. He later said that this was the hardest part of the ride for him. Meanwhile, engine number 1 on the 9 lives is aflame, and it takes a Herculean effort from Rojon and Leak to control the 2 planes' descent as they're locked together and are out of formation, now at 15,000 feet. The pilots brace their feet against the little skipper's instrument panel, the added purchase on the control column, their faces grimacing. Rojon tries several times to break the planes free. He guns the little skipper's radio engines. He even tries to rock the 2 aircraft apart, but it's no use.
Damn, if I was put out on a wing, let's set the engines up and try to turn this thing down.
Rojon knows crashing into the sea is certain death, and to save his crew, he's gonna have to get his plane over land.
We have to get above land to bail out.
He doesn't know if he can manage to maneuver the 2 planes.
Okay now,
But he has to try. The engines of the little skipper are brought to idle.
slowly.
In an incredible display of airmanship, Rojon and Leak manage to slowly get the 2 locked B-17s in a turn.
It's working.
The planes heave around slowly. The pilots are elated as they see the German coast slide once more into view. Rojan sees that the fire is now blanketing his left wing, and the heat is penetrating the fuselage of the little skipper. He can feel the heat on his face through the aluminium skin. As they get closer to the coast, the flak starts again. And then the fireworks begin. It's a .50 caliber machine gun ammunition cooking off in the flames, and the bullets are spewing into the air all around. Rojan and Leek lock eyes in a moment of silent terror. The horizon is nearing, and Rojan takes to the intercom.
We're almost over land. Get ready to bail out, crew. Y'all gotta jump on the tail door.
The door is directly in the wake of the relentless flames blackening and buckling the 9 lives and the little skipper above. But there's no other way out. In the waist area, 3 crewmen, Alkin, Newhouse and Whittle, are trying to free Russo. They can hear him inside still praying. They try with all their might, but the bolt out is completely jammed. Alkin later said he would not move. There was no means of escape for this brave man.
Hail Mary, full of grace. Pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace. Pray.
Reluctantly, they move to bail, and with one final look back towards Rousseau, they jump through the flames into the air. On the ground, German battery gunners on the North Sea coastal island of Wangaruga cannot believe their eyes. This 8-engined double bomber is careering landwards. A Wehrmacht captain looks up at the spectacle and realizes that these bombers are doomed and there's no need to fire.
Feuer einstellen! Diese armen Kerle haben keine Chance mehr.
It's now minutes until impact. Rojan knows it's Leek's last chance to bail out.
Well, you gotta jump! Go! Now!
Leek, in defiance of Rojan's orders, is still inside the cockpit. He knows Rojan can't control the plane alone. Without Leek's additional muscle, the 2 planes would enter a spiral, and Rojan would be unable to bail.
Phil, I'm staying.
Rousseau, in his ball turret, encased by the fuselage of the 9 lives,
Blessed is.
perhaps mercifully, did not see the ground rushing upwards. The ground accelerates towards them. The pilots are shouting their prayers as it fills their view.
We've started to temptation. Liberas from evil.
The 9 lives explodes and disintegrates on impact, vaulting into the skipper upwards like an athlete on a pole. The skipper, momentarily airborne again, belly flops back to Earth, and her left wing slices through a wooden building, splitting the fuselage in the process and launching the nose of the ship forwards until finally it stops. There's silence. Incredulous, the 2 pilots dare to look at each other. They're both alive. Neither is badly injured, with just cuts and bruises to report. Leek crawls from a gaping hole behind the cockpit and emerges into the daylight. Finding his feet, he pats his breast in search of a well-earned smoke. He's just about to light up when a gun muzzle pointing straight between his eyes forces him to pause.
Halt!
A German soldier gestures wildly to the gasoline pouring out over the wing from the ruptured fuel tanks.
Was zum Teufel tust du da? Bist du verrückt? Du bringst uns alle in Flammen.
In no small part because of Rojan and Leek's airmanship and their ability to turn the 2 planes around towards land.